up guys, my name is Aaron and today I'm going to be reviewing Song to Song. This is the latest movie directed by Terrence Malick and stars Ryan Gosling, Michael Fassbender, Rooney Mara, and Natalie Portman. And it's basically like a love triangle, rectangle of people in Austin, Texas. They're mostly comprised of musicians and songwriters, people that are kind of in the industry, I guess. And it's kind of like a love rectangle of these people like getting together and meeting and falling in love and stuff. That's kind of like the rough synopsis, but if you know Terrence Malick, you know that's basically, you're not going to get just that. I was excited for this movie for a lot of reasons. I appreciate Terrence Malick's work, especially when I saw The Tree of Life. Really like that one. The New World, I like that one too. He has a really weird way of doing films, and it's really interesting to look at, even though all of his movies aren't like knockout hits, I don't feel like, but I feel like he's a very interesting director, and whenever he makes a movie, I have to see it because he's one of those kind of visionary directors. I also love the cast too. This cast is comprised of a lot of people that I love, especially Ryan Gosling and Natalie Portman. I really love those two, and just having Michael Fassbender and Rooney Mara in the mix too. It's just like all of my favorite things about like acting and stuff nowadays is just in that movie. So yeah, I was looking forward to the movie for a lot of reasons. I think it exceeded my expectations. I think this is the best movie that he's made in the last few years. I'm including To the Wonder and Knight of Cups. I thought this is the best one. It's a more accessible movie, if that makes sense. And if you didn't like those movies because they weren't as structured, you might like this movie a little bit more. So what's Terrence Malick's style? It's a lot of like wide angles. There's a lot of like fisheye lenses that he uses with the camera. It makes it have like a claustrophobic kind of dreamy atmosphere with the camera work and stuff. Like the camera's always moving and like kind of just moving with the characters and stuff. Like it'll start with the characters and then it'll just kind of float off into like the air, or it'll just float off and go follow some grass or a river or something like that. So I always like that aspect with this movie, is that the camera is always moving and it kind of feels like nature is flowing. And then you always have like a lot of narration, like a lot of voiceover with some of the actors like kind of giving their thoughts or kind of like whispering their thought. Again, this kind of come off as pretentious and kind of on the nose, but I think that it was really used really well with the story that he was trying to tell with this movie. It felt really like kind of organic, and I thought that it gave it a little bit more focus. The strongest aspect about this movie compared to some of his more recent ones is that there actually are characters with this movie. Knight of Cup, To the Wonder, those movies are a little bit sparse with the character development, and just having these actors just kind of hang around basically is what I feel like those movies were. While this movie does have that, there is actually like a story and like characters that you can kind of like associate with. I think Rooney Mara is definitely like, if I had to give like a lead to this movie, it would definitely be her character. She is a songwriter who is with Michael Fassbender's record producer character, and she's just trying to establish herself in Austin and trying to get her feet wet. And then she meets Ryan Gosling's character, who's kind of like her, like he's kind of like very honest and very just down to earth and stuff, and they have a connection. And then Rooney Mara starts to kind of question her place in all this, and she's really like kind of struggling with her kind of existentialism. I feel like Ryan Gosling is probably the most natural fit for this type of movie. Like Terrence Malick's movies where like you don't really have to talk a lot, I guess. You can really just emote with your face. I feel like Ryan Gosling just has like that type of vibe about him, so I feel like his presence in this movie was really cool. He and Rooney Mara have really good chemistry together. They don't really like talk like normal people, but I think that is kind of the point of what Terrence Malick is trying to accomplish here. And the chemistry that they do have is really felt, and you do feel that these two have love for each other, and you do feel that they have chemistry together, and it does play off really well. And I don't know, when I was watching this movie, when I was watching those two kind of interact and having them like kind of goof off with each other, I kind of had some smiles on my face. I thought that was like nice to see them interact. Michael Fassbender's character though, I guess if they're kind of like the lights, Michael Fassbender character is kind of the darkness to this movie. He's a record producer who's very charming. You just want to be around him and stuff. There's something about him that just draws you to him, but once you kind of get close to him, manipulates you, he uses you to kind of get what he wants, and then he kind of just throws you away. And he's kind of I guess, the villain of this movie because of the way that he acts throughout the movie. I thought that he did a really good job. There was like a lot of physicality and kind of like an almost animal presence to his like performance, and I thought that he was really good. He's kind of elevating the character that he's playing and stuff, and it was really cool to watch, really fascinating stuff to watch. And then Natalie Portman's character, she's a waitress that kind of gets introduced into the movie like halfway into the movie, and she gets in with Michael Fassbender's character. I thought that her character was really interesting too. She's really trying to start a new life, start off with a fresh look on life, and when she gets wrapped into Michael Fassbender's life, just things just start spiraling out of control. I feel like Natalie Portman gave a really good performance with this character, even better than her last one with Terrence Malick, Natalie Cups. There are a lot of different like actors and musicians that show up in this movie. Cate Blanchett, she shows up as kind of a fling with Ryan Gosling. Like Lee, she shows up as another fling of Ryan Gosling. Patti Smith, she shows up in the movie too. Val Kilmer shows up in a really weird scene, and I thought that was a really fun scene to look at. I like that it's set in Austin in the music festivals because you get a sense of what it's like to be out there when all that stuff is happening. There's like a lot of different festivals that they show in the movie, and I thought that was a really cool aspect too. Terrence Malick's like shots of nature and stuff like that you see with his movies, like when they focus on like a river or underneath like a freeway or something like that. I thought that all that stuff was really cool. But I think that mostly what this movie is kind of a recollection of a memory of love. It kind of feels like a fragmented kind of what you kind of remember about it, just like the really emotional moments that you remember of love, being with somebody, really caring for somebody. It kind of feels like that to me, like, and I think that Terrence Malick's way of doing films like really dreamy and really atmospheric, it really focuses the message and the themes of this movie in a really clear way, more so than Night of Cups and more so than To the Wonder. I think that this one really kind of shows why he's such a visionary director. Now, is this movie perfect? I don't think it's perfect. I think it could be cut down a little bit. It's 2 hours and 20 minutes, and I feel like it could be cut down a little bit, I think. But overall, I think this is a really strong movie. It's not going to be for everybody. If you really don't like Terrence Malick's recent filmmaking, I really wouldn't recommend this to you. But if you were kind of lukewarm on like the To the Wonder and Night of Cups, I think that if you go into this with an open mind, and you'll kind of see that there's a stronger sense of character and plot with this movie, and you really get wrapped into it a little bit if you allow yourself to get wrapped into it. I don't know, I'm giving this like a B+. It's not like a super amazing movie, but definitely for Terrence Malick, if you're kind of disappointed in his recent work, I think this one is definitely going to sway you if you're kind of on the fence about it. So what did you guys think? Did you like the movie? Did you hate the movie? Let me know in the comments what you thought, and thanks for watching. Thanks guys. Bye.